how social media manipulates your brain and how to stop it. What if I told you that every time you scroll through your social media feed, your brain is being carefully rewired, subtly, relentlessly, and without your conscious permission? That this endless stream of images, likes, and notifications is designed not just to entertain you, but to manipulate your thoughts, emotions, and even your sense of self? In a world saturated with digital connection, we often forget how these platforms shape us at the deepest psychological level. Today, we'll explore how social media manipulates your brain, and more importantly, how you can reclaim control. The rise of social media has transformed how we communicate, learn, and experience the world. It promises connection and community, but underneath its glossy surface lies a complex system engineered to capture your attention and influence your behavior. The average person now spends nearly 2.5 hours daily on these platforms, a staggering amount of time considering how young social media is in human history. But why do we find it so hard to put down our phones? Why does a simple notification trigger such a powerful urge to check again and again? To answer these questions, we must delve into the science of human motivation and the architecture of digital platforms. At the heart of this manipulation is a sophisticated understanding of the brain's reward system, particularly the neurotransmitter dopamine. Dopamine is often described as the brain's pleasure chemical, but this is a simplification. It is better understood as a chemical that signals anticipation of reward, driving us to seek out experiences that promise positive outcomes. Social media platforms exploit this by creating unpredictable rewards, likes, comments, shares, delivered in random bursts. This is a phenomenon known as variable ratio reinforcement, a psychological principle famously used in gambling. Slot machines operate on the same principle. The unpredictability of winning makes the behavior addictive. When you refresh your feed, you never quite know what you'll see. Sometimes it's a compliment from a friend, other times a controversial post, or a funny video. This intermittent reward schedule triggers dopamine release, reinforcing the behavior and making you crave more. But it doesn't stop there. Social media also taps into our fundamental human need for social validation. Psychologist Abraham Maslow, in his hierarchy of needs, identified belongingness and esteem as essential for psychological health. When our posts receive likes or positive comments, our brains register this as a form of acceptance and status elevation. Conversely, a lack of response or negative feedback can lead to feelings of rejection and anxiety. This dynamic mirrors tribal social structures from our evolutionary past, where acceptance by the group was critical for survival. Consider the social comparison theory proposed by psychologist Leon Festinger. This theory suggests that humans determine their own social and personal worth based on how they stack up against others. Social media provides an endless stream of curated, idealized versions of other people's lives. We constantly compare ourselves to filtered photos, highlight reels, and success stories, often leading to feelings of inadequacy, envy, and lowered self-esteem. This cycle can exacerbate mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. Historically, the concept of manipulation through communication is not new. Propaganda techniques in the 20th century used similar psychological insights to shape public opinion and behavior on a mass scale. What makes social media distinct is the personalized and real-time nature of this manipulation. Algorithms tailor content to your preferences and past behaviors, creating echo chambers that reinforce existing beliefs and biases. This can deepen polarization and reduce exposure to diverse perspectives, subtly shaping how you think and perceive the world. One of the most insidious ways social media manipulates your brain is through what behavioral economist Richard Thaler calls nudging. Nudges are subtle design elements that steer people's choices without restricting freedom. For example, infinite scrolling eliminates natural stopping cues, so you keep browsing longer than intended. Notifications are timed to pull you back at moments when you might otherwise disengage. Even the color schemes and interface layouts are optimized to maximize engagement. All these elements work together to hijack your attention. So what does this mean for your daily life? Understanding these mechanisms is the first step toward regaining control. Awareness allows you to recognize when your behavior is being influenced beyond your conscious choice. It also opens the door to intentional strategies to mitigate these effects. One effective approach is to cultivate mindfulness around your social media use. This means paying close attention to how you feel before, during, and after engaging with these platforms. Are you scrolling out of boredom, anxiety, or a genuine desire to connect? Noticing these triggers helps create a buffer between impulse and action. You can begin to choose when and how to engage rather than being pulled in automatically. Another strategy is to set clear boundaries. This might include designated no-phone times during the day, turning off non-essential notifications, or using apps that monitor and limit your screen time. By imposing friction, you make it less likely to fall into compulsive checking. Some people even find it helpful to delete social media apps entirely for periods, reclaiming hours of mental space and peace. Critically, seek deeper, more meaningful connections offline. Human beings are inherently social creatures, but the quality of interaction matters immensely. Face-to-face conversations, shared experiences, and authentic relationships fulfill psychological needs far more effectively than likes and comments ever can. When your social needs are met in the real world, the hold social media has on your brain diminishes. Reflecting on this, it's important to acknowledge that social media itself is not inherently evil. It can be a powerful tool for learning, creativity, and connection. But like any tool, it requires conscious and skillful use. The problem arises when it controls you rather than serving you. In the end, the battle over your attention is a deeply human one. It taps into your desires, fears, and need for connection. Recognizing how social media manipulates your brain is not about blame, but empowerment. It is an invitation to step back, understand your inner landscape, and make choices that honor your well-being. As you go about your day, consider this. Every scroll is a choice, every notification a prompt. You hold the power to decide what shapes your mind and life. And in that awareness lies freedom.